When Afghanistan was governed by the Taliban between 1996 to 2001, Afghan women were not allowed to work or get an education. They were forced to wear burqas in public. According to the gender policies of the Sunni Islamist political movement, the face of a woman is a source of corruption. With their strict adherence to the tenets of the Sharia law, the Taliban posed other restrictions on Afghan women, such as they cannot appear in the streets without a blood relative and without wearing a burqa, nor can they wear high-heeled shoes, as no man should hear a woman's footsteps, lest it excite him. They are not allowed to speak loudly in public, as no stranger should hear a woman's voice. All ground and first floor residential windows should be painted over or screened to prevent women being visible from the street. The photographing or filming of women was banned, as was displaying pictures of females in newspapers, books, shops, or in their own houses. The name of a place cannot include the word women. They were also forbidden to appear on the balconies of their apartments or houses. Women were also banned from appearing on television, radio, or at public gatherings of any kind. Afghan women who wanted to get an education were forced to attend underground schools, such as the Golden Needle Sewing School. The Golden Needle Sewing School, founded in 1996 during the Taliban rule, was an underground school for women in Herat, Afghanistan. Women would visit the school 3 times a week, ostensibly to sew, but would instead hear lectures given by professors of literature from Herat University. Children playing outside would alert the group if the religious police approached, giving them the time to hide their books and pick up sewing equipment. In her interview with Radio Free Europe, Christina Lamb, a Sunday Times foreign correspondent and author of The Sewing Circles of Herat, said, "They would arrive in their burqas with their bags full of materials and scissors. Underneath, they would have notebooks and pens. And once they got inside, instead of learning to sew, they would actually be talking about Shakespeare and James Joyce or Dostoevsky or their own writings. It was a tremendous risk they were taking. If they had been caught, they would have been, at the very least, imprisoned and tortured, or maybe hanged." Having to hide one's thirst for knowledge and a deep longing for freedom beneath a ball of yarn, beneath scraps of unwanted fabrics that are yet to be sewn together to clothe the body of a child or a grown man, is like hoping for a beam of light to pass through the eye of a needle. Since it was overthrown in 2001, the Taliban has regrouped and is now a commanding insurgent movement with a growing number of volunteers from various Islamic countries. The unremitting support from tribal groups and allegedly from Pakistan, the Taliban are persisting and continue to operate a parallel government which aims to undermine Afghanistan's incumbent government that is backed by the US. Although the Allied forces have built schools and facilitated trainings and educational opportunities for women, the shadow of the Taliban is lurking eerily in the background. Atrocities against women remain rampant. Honor killings, child marriages, women being traded in settlement of disputes, the spraying of acid into girls' faces for going to school, among other abuses. According to the UN Development Fund for Women, 87% of Afghan women are beaten on a regular basis. The Obama administration is currently considering reconciling with the Taliban and reintegrating the soldiers into the society. But in all of these talks about ending the conflict in Afghanistan, where do Afghan women figure in? Can the Taliban bury the only ideology that has given them a sense of political power, or the license to impose religious fascism that is especially brutal towards women? For those beneath the hideous veil, must they compromise their rights yet again for a peace agreement between the allied forces and the Taliban? Should the troops leave this war-torn land without ensuring the full protection of women's rights? One may argue that pushing the envelope for the emancipation of the Afghan women can be an exercise in futility, as the Afghan culture does not recognize gender equality as a virtue, nor is it a necessity. But I ask you this: have you seen the world through a tiny mesh screen? Have you taken the risk of being tortured only for reading books written by free men? For yearning to be unchained because you know freedom is your natural state? Have you ever held onto a needle just to save your own life? Probably not. This is not a fight exclusive to the coalition forces. This is a fight for humanity that rests upon the hands of those who enjoy freedom that oppressed people all over the world can only dream of.